Good morning, everybody. This is Lorraine.
And Jennifer.
And today we want to look at some lessons learned. A lot of times we're talking about new trends and new tools, but I think it's really important to go back every now and then and look at what have we learned? What would we do differently if we were starting the year over again? And I can't think of a better topic than what have we learned about AI this year?
I also want to just point out that I am always trying to constantly learn. And I know a lot of times people, this is kind of planning season. It's like, oh, planning for the next year. And like, I'm always planning.
Hmm.
So I don't always believe in the change to the new year. But I thought, since most normal people, and I'm not normal, we should go over that. Like, what did we learn this year?
Absolutely. And I think this is something that is changing very fast. And people are trying to figure out how to incorporate AI into their routines. So, if you had one lesson that you learned about AI and the power or the pitfalls, what's
I
that first lesson?
I can go just pull it back to everything that I do and just say, stay humble, because it's new. And, even if we're not talking about AI and we're talking about business or we're talking about anything, it's don't get ahead of yourself and really feel like you've mastered something that nobody knows anything about, and be real. Nothing is stable right now, and unstable is the new stable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think things are changing so quickly that even if you master a function or a technique, you need to be aware that that's going to change. It's either going to get better or worse if you connect with one platform. In a way, it's AI to me is like those old carnival games where you had a water gun, you shot it in the mouth of the clown, and the water pressure would make your horse race ahead. But if you stopped for even a second, the other horse passed you. And AI development right now is a lot like that carnival game. That's what I learned this year. That tools that I fell in love with at the beginning of the year stopped applying water, and another tool that I thought was okay has leaped ahead.
So,
And
yeah, go ahead.
in this moment, I will say that I am more impressed with ChatGPT and its broadening functionality than I am with the anthropologic products. Um, while I think Claude is nice if I want to write a poem, if I want to do real work in this moment, ChatGPT is my number one.
It's funny that you said that because I wrote down dead spots or silence is okay, and you don't always need to fill the void. Even if tech makes you faster, you're creative in the void, and being like Buddha like can be really helpful. And you just don't need to move super like find where you're the most creative without tech assistance and kind of double down. And I like the tech, and I'm a techie person, but get roll up your overalls, get out in the street, and go listen to people and see what reality is like too.
Absolutely. I think, as you're talking about this, it is the difference between control and being centered. And I'm going to follow on your kind of voodoo, yen, whatever. But as business owners, we want to be in control. We want to know where all the pieces are and where they're moving to. And we want to control the flow of information and the flow of operations through our business. But the reality is, with something like AI, the tool that is changing so rapidly, you almost need to step back and go, I can't control this.
Hmm.
Pieces I don't understand. There are things that competitors are doing with this tool I can't keep up with, but I can be centered and I can look at what is my objective. How am I solving these problems today? Are there resources, tools, information that will allow me to do better? Identifying what they are and being okay with, you know what? This is not the number one way I would recommend doing it, but this really works. Um,
Look for the win-wins. Look for the use case. Like, I've done this more than 3 times, and
mhm,
there is a process to it, and it can be mapped out. I've started to think about this more and more as it's an employee of
mhm.
mine, but I need to write instructions. Like, remember when you were in cooking class and they taught you how to do peanut butter and jelly? And they walked you through step by step.
Mhm,
Step.
mhm.
That's what you have to do with AI. And so if you're not good at strategically like thinking like through those steps, then you might struggle with getting use out of it because you're not thinking about those steps.
When you're talking about peanut butter and jelly, there is a creativity and actually a process development exercise where you ask everybody to write down instructions on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And what you find is that the instructions are really a little vague. They leave steps out, they make assumptions. So I would always, when I taught that class, I would always pick the vaguest instructions and I would read it aloud. And I'd have a loaf of bread wrapped in plastic. I'd have peanut butter in a jar. I'd have jelly. And the first thing is open the jar of peanut butter and spread it on the bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would open up the peanut butter jar and spread it on the bread package. Oh, you wanted me to take the bread out of the package? You didn't say that.
Yeah.
You didn't say that. Now put jelly on the bread. And I would, maybe I'd be doing a different example. Oh, okay. I'm supposed to open up the bread. All right, let's take a piece of bread out. I put peanut butter on, and now I'm supposed to spread the jelly. And I turn the bread over, and I would spread the jelly on the other side, and then I'd put it down on the counter. I'm like, that didn't work. Oh, I was supposed to put the jelly on top of the peanut butter.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
And
why you might be getting frustrated with AI because you're not giving clear instructions. Repeatable things that you're doing over and over is what it can handle. It cannot handle creativity that's already been created. Um,
no, and understanding the content that AI is giving you and where it's pulling that from, and recognizing that left to its own devices, AI is going to go out and look for 30 sources
yeah,
and it's going to average the information it finds. But if you want that information to sound more like
yeah,
you have to give it more sources that are the voice you want. You can't just say, go out and find information. Go out and find information that looks like this or sounds like this. And then you start getting back information that you can use.
well, that's what makes this good for business owners actually to run with it first because we're trying to think outside of the box and we're trying to do things differently. So it's going to give you back. It's going to kind of mirror you, like what you're saying. So challenge it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you're being lazy today. Is this
Mm-hmm.
the summary? Like, I actually wanted you to work at it. Like, but it made me nice.
Absolutely. That's you being nice. I'll be like, seriously, did you forget my voice? Here's a quick reminder. We don't use these phrases. Um, this sounds like it's written by a college bro. I am not a college bro.
Yeah,
Let's get that straight.
I'll do this.
And you know, um, kicking it back in line, but when it's on, it's incredibly on. I
Yeah,
have made leaps and bounds changes in my brand and in my website and in my messaging with the help of AI.
yeah.
Because again, I gave it clear instructions. This is where I've been. This is where I want to be.
Yeah, I've scaled quickly in a lot of ways, and that since it's like changed where it can choose what it wants, what model to use and stuff like that. I mean, I have projects and I have GPTs, and I'm like, so what do I have? Like 30, 40, 60 employees right now because I have so many that are like very specific, and this is what you're supposed to do, and I have a separate one for business and one for the team. Because time is the true asset here, not money. Everyone gets 24 hours. What do you do with it?
Time is time has always been the asset. I think many business owners do not value the time. They do not recognize the things that get done between the projects that eat away at 2, 3, 4 hours a week, 5 hours a week of time, and they don't figure that into their pricing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so having AI transcribe meeting notes so I don't have to have a second person in that meeting,
Yeah.
that saves 1 to 2 man hours.
Yeah. Well, so I think that kind of for me leads into my advice is to find something that like for the foreseeable future right now that a human can do
Mm-hmm.
and like a bot cannot do right now, and going out and creating and getting that content on the streets for me is like that's a new skill set that I was like, okay, well, they can't do that yet. So, but I can do it faster and quicker. And I have a video production manager now and a content production manager with all the technical skills and all my stuff, and be like, this is what I'm going to. And yeah.
Absolutely. And it is, if I could put that final lesson there, you said it earlier. You said AI is your employee, and it is your job through the end of this year and rolling into next year to figure out how to manage that very talented, but perhaps challenging employee.
They're new to the game. They need to figure out how to do it.
Absolutely. All right, guys, go forward. You got a quarter left till the end of the year. Do some things that move your business forward
And challenge you.
and challenge you.
Take care.
Bye now.